This is TWiT. Actually, this is kind of a surprise. So last week we talked about Major Nelson saying new hardware and accessories, and then retracting it. And I don't know if this is related, but now we're hearing about new hardware.
Yeah, it's not. So this is Brad has had a series of leaks with regards to the next generation Xbox consoles, and Brad's going to come up a lot. You might want to keep your finger on that button.
Just keep Brad here. All right.
Just keep
I got the Brad button. Yeah. He's leaking right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, Brad did have a leak in his basement yesterday.
Yes,
interesting. Anyway,
a series of leaks. Yep.
He's a lot of leaks over there. So yeah, that is ironic when you think about it, isn't it? Anywho,
it's karma, baby. Instant karma going to get you.
Yeah. So this is, you mentioned the fact that I'm never happy earlier, which is kind of interesting because there's this weird area where I get overly exuberant about, and it's I have great hope for the future of technology, and I always think things are going to happen more quickly than they do.
And that's why you're ultimately unhappy. Right there.
That might, right.
Yes.
Yeah, that might be it.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, just being alive for 50 years kind of makes you unhappy.
Yeah, I know that. Tell me all about it.
Just the weight of the world bearing down on you is terrible. But with regards to Xbox, I looked at Microsoft's business, a year or so ago, and just logically, you can see the future of this company is in the cloud. And how do we apply this to gaming? And obviously, you're delivering games over the internet, and Microsoft has this infrastructure, Azure, and so forth. They're in a much better position if this world ever unfurls than our companies like Sony or Nintendo, and that's kind of interesting, So here's Microsoft; they've lost all these console generations, and who knows? They may emerge on the other side of this looking pretty good. So this year we've learned that they are in fact working toward this goal, but the way that they kind of put a pin to my balloon is that it's not happening immediately. It's not there yet, and so for the next generation of consoles, whatever these things will be called, we have these code names like Scarlett and so forth, but there's going to be the kind of traditional style, and then there's going to be the version that has its foot in the cloud, where a large part of it is going to be that thing that I described, which is cloud delivery of games. And so it's kind of a baby step thing, and we're getting information in little dribs and drabs as well. But you can see it in things like the fast start technology that debuted in the most recent version of the Xbox system software. The goal there is for any Xbox user, but especially, by the way, people who are subscribed to Xbox Game Pass, which is kind of the nascent version of this coming service. You start downloading a game to your console, and you can start playing it a lot more quickly than you could in the past, like twice as quickly. And that's a big deal because these games are humongous. Xbox One games, especially 4K, can be in the tens of gigabytes, are always going to be in the tens of gigabytes, actually. So even if with a really fast connection, you're going to be waiting to get that thing, I will remind people that this actually isn't a new problem. If you go back 5 years, and my son and I got up at midnight to go buy the newest Call of Duty game.
It was so cute.
Yeah, and we come home with a disc, and we're all excited, and we're up, and we're going to play this game, and here we go. Nope, because you put that thing in the drive, and then you have to install it. Like you can't, and you're still waiting. And so I get a lot of pushback from people on the cloud stuff. You don't understand. Rural America, has a 1 megabit connection out in the middle of nowhere. This is never going to happen. And to which I sort of say, I don't think you understand. The chances of you getting higher speed data is much higher than you never getting higher speed data. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. You may not be on the front wave of this coming generation of gaming. But if your internet connection is 1 megabit per second, I have bad news for you. You're not on the front wave of much. So that will happen. It will happen. I don't mean like it's probably going to happen. It's going to happen. Of course it's going to happen. And so it will happen on whatever schedule happens. But we are going to get there. And Microsoft is working toward this future, as they should. It's smart. So anyway, this year's been interesting because over a period of time, we've gotten separate sets of leaks that have come out about this. This is something that has leaked so much they actually formally kind of acknowledged it, right? Right ahead of E3. It's really unusual because the last thing you want to do when you're selling a product is to talk about something that's going to be awesome that's coming down the road and makes the thing you're selling now look terrible. The good thing for Microsoft is their strategy in the video game market is really smart, and so they're ensuring a level of compatibility between generations of consoles. And so if you bought a an original Xbox One, you might be in the market for an Xbox One X now because it's 5 years later or whatever the time frame is now. If you never bought into an Xbox One and you're still on the Xbox 360 or whatever, again, it's a great, these things have been revved like 3 times. This is kind of cool. Like we're kind of further along. If you're firmly set where you are, you have an Xbox One S or an Xbox One X, know that the money that you spent on games and on services and so forth is going to carry forward to whatever this next thing is. Whatever they call it, everything you have now will almost certainly work on the next thing too.